Hello and welcome to another Untitled KKP show. I am recording at Osaka, Japan. I've been holidaying for a bit. Might probably show some pictures of what I've been doing here and talk a little bit here and there. And also doing this week's show to just recap what's going on. Right now I'm recording on the 1st of October. So I actually have some TGS stuff that I totally missed out in the previous two videos I did. So I'm going to recap all that here right now on this particular show. For the people who I did some work with, some I did for fun and networking and whatnot. And then some other reviews that happened post TGS. So let's get right to it. I got my phone and my notes on Google Docs because it's only a one screen thing I can do right now. So let's see. I've talked about a lot of Capcom stuff. I've talked about a lot of No Straight Roads 2, Phantom Blade 0, Ananta, Resident Evil Requiem, Monster Hunter, Elliot, Tales. I actually need to talk about some Bandai Namco stuff. So we got an invite, well, more like, hey Bandai, come down, and Bandai say, hey, come down to TGS, I'll just show you what stuff. So yeah, I checked out a bit of Code Vein 2, that's the upcoming vampire game. Not gameplay, we only got to see like a trailer and see a bit of what's going on. But there was also some gameplay footage that we saw that came out on TGS week, so let's talk about that. So basically Code Vein 2 is a sequel to Code Vein, which is basically Bandai Namco's Dark Souls game but with anime graphics and vampires. So you play this Revenant, you can create a character creation screen, which is very, very detailed, by the way, really cool stuff. And you have to team up with this other Revenant, who, I think her name is Lou, who can change time or update time or go bring you back to time so you can fix it to save the present and the future. So off you go, defeating enemies in particular stages here and there where you go back to time, you kill enemies in that particular segment, maybe rewrite some things here and there in the present so you fix the past. So you also got these amber roots that you also have to deal with, so you got weaponry and whatnot, and you get to gather up Ichor to deal supers and power-ups and do jail attacks, special cinematic. Well, it's like, okay, when you stagger an enemy, you do these really cool attacks with the dragon hands popping up, in the cinematics and whatnot in Code Vein 2's trailer. It's also in Code Vein 1 as well, so those are called jail attacks, or I think that's the term, but they basically do more damage. So your basic idea is you deal light damage, gain some Ichor, you stagger enemies, and then you do your super attacks. So you do that for regular enemies, some big enemies, and also you got bosses to fight with. So in the gameplay trailer, you get to see your character and Lou teaming up. You kind of need like partners and whatnot to bring you around and everything. You can choose to have a partner with you like in the first game. So you're different friends and allies who have different power-ups. Is it going to be as busted as Yakumo? I hope they learn to, so that the game is a bit of a challenge. And maybe you have more tag team fights in Code Vein 2, because Code Vein 1, the only tag team fight you have is optional, and that's super hard. But that's the most fun I've had in the game of that aspect of Code Vein 2. The gameplay trailer also showed off a boss fight, Decrepit Revenant, Dejected Assailant, and he's got two phases. What I really like about this fight is everything is shown on the life bar right there, right? So there's no like, oh, the life bar's gone, second phase pops up, you gotta fight him again. So this bad guy's life bar it's like just shared basically. So there's not, maybe there might be a bit of trickery in the future, but for the life bar system and whatnot. But I'm glad that that's just one life bar you gotta worry about, and then when it's halfway through, you get to see the cinematic and the second form. So it's not really cheating you per se. So the combat and everything is about the same. You got your trigger attacks, you get to move around, dodge, very, very lenient, fast controls. And whether the map design or level design is, I think it's similar to the first game where you got like ruins and all that, and enemies like sneaking up on you and hiding in corners. So you gotta keep your Dark Souls radar turned on to, watch out for, bad guys and stuff. So you also got, at least you got your partner to help you out. So you can use them to distract enemies, or they can support you, or they can take tank hits like Yakumo did in the first game. So as to how they'll balance it out, we'll find out on the final date of the game, which is going to be on the 30th of January. I know it's like the last 2 weeks of January of next year, 2026. So I'm looking forward to that, because I like the soundtrack to the first game, and I hope they bring in Goshina again for the second game. I mean, I've heard the boss theme. Yeah, it's definitely sounding like Goshina is back again to compose the music, which is a plus. A huge plus for me to keep on people like me. I also checked out Once Upon a Katamari. That's actually more of like one stage. You still roll the ball to make it big for the King of Cosmos. You play the Prince of the Cosmos, but this time you go back in time. Hence the whole Once Upon a Time. So you go through different stages. Like the first stage I played was actually in the Edo period. So I'm gonna assume that every other stage in the game is gonna be like in different time periods, different eras and whatnot, and just gonna make the ball as big as possible. So your puzzle is to what do you have to roll, the smallest thing to the biggest, and see what is rollable, what isn't. So that's the cool part. Like we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, it's the same Katamari game you played. Fun music, really simplified gameplay with a bit of a puzzle element, and really not much to say actually. So this fun game should be out like later this year. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, I also checked out this indie game called Agni, Village of Calamity. So we featured their trailer on our page, YouTube page, and it blew up really insanely. So I wanted to just say hi to the guys and see how they're doing. And yeah, they showed me like their 30-minute demo, which was really awesome. In fact, I heard that it's gotten a lot of really good positive feedback, not just from fans of horror and also media like me, but also from, you know, some other people they meet, publishers. I won't say, but they met a lot of like high tier publishers and developers who actually were super interested in publishing Agni. So yeah, we don't know when the actual date for this game is coming out, but again, it looks like it's again from a 9-man or less than 9-man team from Indonesia. This looks very high polished, very high rated and all that. So my only advice so basically the level itself is you get kidnapped by some bad guys and then you gotta escape from the serial killer's place. And you have a monster chasing you halfway through. So you've got like QTEs, you've got like action bits and whatnot, and cutscenes galore, and really cool like stuff you see in the trailer and stuff that's new to the demo. So my only advice, I mean, it's very high polished, very atmospheric, very fun for survival horror kind of stuff. And Agni herself, the main character with the hijab, all that, she runs and she knows when to fight or flight kind of character. Like she knows when to attack and all that. So she is, you know, she isn't as helpless, but she knows where her strengths are, so she just needs to run away until she finds a good opportunity to, you know, break down and fight enemies. So it's like half and half, you know, she still needs to hide, but she also can attack when needed. So she's not vulnerable, but she's not defenseless either. It's really dependent on the situation. So my only advice for the team is just keep cooking, just keep working on it until they're ready to announce a release date, which is like, I guess, you know, it's like what game developers would do. Like just keep working on stuff, just talk to the people they only need to care about, i.e. publishers or whatnot, and then just release it whenever you're ready, more or less. I'm not sure. I suspect from the trailers we've seen and all that, this is looking like a 2026 title, but we'll see how that goes. Again, the word is actually officially from them, Sapporo Interactive. You gotta, and then they'll announce it when they'll announce release date when they're ready to announce it. So as for now, it is looking very good for them so far. So this is a very highly anticipated title. Hopefully people will check it out, you know. Maybe they might release a demo, the same demo that I played later in the year, either end of the year or middle of next year. So it's really up to them, right? So looking forward to what they're cooking up later on, you know, in terms of more Agni. Let's see. Oh, I also played Ninja Gaiden 4. It was actually the demo that's been around in Summer Gaming and Gamescom. So basically, I go through a stage as Yakumo, the new character in the game. He fights really well. He's got tools, he's got a handler, and he's got like Blood Raven mode, where basically I do superpower attacks, but I have to be in a install state first. And then I gotta do another attack, which also has a bit of a startup. So this attack is very important in breaking guard and also interrupting big enemy attacks. So when I was fighting enemies in the game, it was fine. I can do flashy stuff here and there. But when I was fighting the White Samurai Cyborg guy, who was the final boss of the demo, he did very strong unblockable attacks. well, you can dodge him, but you can't block him. So to interrupt those attacks, you need to be in Blood Raven mode, and you gotta activate it. You gotta hold it until it actually does the telegraph super attack, and then you have to counter it with the Blood Raven attack to interrupt him and just fight on. So it gets really tough when you're trying to whittle his health, because he can basically just strike you down 3 times and you're dead. And you also need to actually know when to actually do the Blood Raven attacks, because it's a bit of a timing thing. And plus, you won't know when he's gonna do his super attack. So it's more or less like a reactive, proactive kind of situation. I actually died like 5 times with this boss because I was trying to figure out when to interrupt his attack and when not to. So I like the fact that they kept that aspect of Ninja Gaiden around, where when you fight bosses, you need to figure out how to get through them. But in terms of the actual fighting the grunts, I don't feel that they're as tough as they should be. I think they feel more like training mode enemies. I think this group who are making Ninja Gaiden, they're not Team Ninja. I believe it is Platinum Games. They are basically doing what they did with Bayonetta, where enemies are meant to be flashed upon, attacked upon, and doing combos on. So they're taking that principle and doing it in Ninja Gaiden, which may turn off some people, but it's been a while since the brand came up, and it is still challenging if you want to play it in the hardest difficulty, most likely. I think the only way, again, the way they can turn this around is make normal mode fun for people to jump on board, and make the bosses just as tough as they did in the demo I played. And then when you want to replay it in a harder difficulty, give them that option. Just change up the enemy settings, like the level structure and the placements and the enemy structure. So put like end game enemies in the first stage for like Ninja Gaiden mode. Do it exactly like they did for Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, and yeah, problem solved. So in other words, I enjoyed the Ninja Gaiden 4 demo. It's not as challenging as Ninja Gaiden 2 Original and Ninja Gaiden Black on Xbox, but I think it's just a different era, different challenge, different mindset right now, especially when it comes to a game that needs to attract more people to play, especially character action fans. So I believe Ninja Gaiden 4 might succeed at that front point, because it looks good, it plays really good, no complaints about the music, sound, action, and controls. It's mostly just a difficulty part, but again, that can be alleviated, that can be rectified with hard mode or Ninja Gaiden, Ninja Hardcore mode or whatever, black mode, right? So you can do whatever they want. So that's really cool stuff. I'm looking forward to Ninja Gaiden 4. Thank you Xbox for letting, and thank you for Koei Tecmo for letting us in and checking it out for a bit. Really cool stuff. And I got a bunch of other news before we get on to some of the stuff. Let's see, we have... Okay, Parasite Mutant was announced. Oh no, Threads of Time was announced. It had a new game trailer. So, games come out in 2026. It's a Chrono Trigger RPG-like game, turn-based combat with a party that actually travels through time to defeat an evil of some sort. The graphics look great, 60-bit style graphics, got some turn-based action going on, characters and sprite work. They actually showed off different eras and whatnot. Really cool music and trailer and gameplay showcase. It is coming out on 2026, so that along with Sacrifier, that's gonna be the year of like 2D JRPGs coming in to complement stuff like Sea of Stars that came out a couple of years back. Sea of Stars was great. Love to see more games following that up, with the 16-bit aesthetic and gameplay and really nice innovations and style and whatnot. So I want to see more of that coming up. So 2026 is looking very grand for indie gaming for JRPGs. Parasite Mutant is actually an indie-made survival horror game made in the style of Parasite Eve. So these developers are doing it themselves. They're releasing it on PC and PlayStation 5 in 2026. They're just basically making Parasite Eve. They just changed everything. It's like Parasite Eve in everything but name and most likely setting. I think it's less in New York and more like a sci-fi base. You play as a character who looks like Aya Brea, and the combat itself has like the giant globe coming up. You do your turn-based attacks and you get to figure out your distance and your attacks and do your supers and shit with your weaponry and whatnot, defeating like biomenace monsters and zombies and mutants and shit. It is basically Parasite Eve in everything but name and license. Legally distinct Parasite Eve. So because Square Enix kind of shit the bed with Third Birthday and not doing jack all about it. I mean, they're supposed to do like an NFT game and using the Parasite Eve name, but they totally dropped it. So now these developers are just doing it on their own. So this looks really good. I actually want to play this. Coming out next year, most likely, without any delays. PC, PS5, the action looks really good. Love the whole globe thing, like I mentioned. Turn-based combat, everything looking really, really awesome right there. And I think that is it for all my TGS coverage and whatnot. I mean, if there's anything else, just let me know what I missed out on. All the leftover stuff that I did not mention in the last video. Alright, some fighting game stuff. 2XKO just showcased a trailer of Teemo. Yes, he is going to be available on October the 7th when the game goes in early access. He is a small midget zoner type character who hides and gets invisible under blades of grass. He can teleport to grass and all that. He's going to take a lot of damage compared to the rest of the cast, but to offset that, tiny hitbox, very hard to hit, has zoning attacks, will be very more annoying than Jinx, definitely. So he's gonna be like a harasser, tiny ass character to fight with. Like, it's gonna be hard to touch him and grab him. But at the end of the day, he's going to be a very annoying shit stirrer to fight, like his LOL counterpart. So people will love him fighting as Teemo, fighting him and everything. It's just insane. He's going to be a very, very entertaining character to play with, and going to be very, very annoying to play against because of all the darts and all the traps and the bombs you get to do and throw and whatnot. It's just crazy stuff that I'm seeing from the gameplay. Will I be maining Teemo? We'll see how it goes. I'm already using a Blitzcrank and Jinx, so I'm going to stick to that team. And Teemo might be pretty fun to play. We'll see. I mean, I don't mind actually, just using whatever fight coins I have to, buy the character. But we'll see how that goes. But early access means I get to, keep whatever I bought. It won't be a reset, hopefully. So that'll be kind of fun. I mean, the characters I would buy is definitely Blitzcrank and Jinx, but maybe Teemo, we'll see. I kind of want to play a test. I mean, again, you can play in training mode and you can decide who you want to buy in the to play in tournaments and in casual online mode. So let me just give him a run through and whatnot. He's gonna be very hard to hit, but he's also tiny and terrible reach. But he's gonna be a bitch to fight against, that's for sure, because of the whole like teleporting, hit and run sort of thing going on. So he'll be an annoying little jerk to fight against, that's for sure. All right, and now the big story. Let's see. It is about Capcom Cup, and apparently they are charging a subscription, a pay-per-view model for watching the next Capcom Cup, which is on March. This show has been live streamed for free for the past 10 years. I've been tuning to it and I've been doing a lot of video content on it, but now they're gonna adopt the Street Fighter League Japan model for this particular Capcom Cup that's coming up March 2026. And it's not gonna bode well for the rest of the world. I mean, in Japan, they are very restrictive, but they're doing a lot of like viewership for all the streamers and the pro players in Japan. But for our side, we've been doing this and watching content for free, like for all tournaments and everything, where the sponsorship and the money is all going towards ads in the most viewed showcases. So with the Capcom Cup happening with this new pay-per-view model, I believe it starts off at 3,000 yen from the bottom for a basic viewership all the way to the top, which is priced pretty high and all that. I'm trying to get through to the events hub. I don't know. I think there's something going on with the internet connection right now. So maybe I'll go on Twitter. Hold on. Maybe... Oh. Not Co-op. Cup. Cup. iCup. Alright, there we go. Okay, I can see a lot of jokes popping up there. Hey everyone, you can now purchase Street Fighter 6 for less it costs to watch Capcom Cup 12. Yeah, because like I said, maybe you could release costumes card stage for 40 US instead, like in SF5. Paying for in-game content is a better alternative than pay-per-view. And it does not gatekeep Capcom Cup. So I see a lot of comments about the pay-per-view moment. This is how we streaming Capcom Cup 12. Yes, okay. Let's see. I think the price tag is here. Ah, there we go. Here we go. Ah, right. Okay, so we've got they got the stage map. I think when you're appearing to watch it live, that could be, I mean, that's different because you're paying money live to watch it at the stage itself. I mean, that is a given. I mean, you 40 US to watch it on the spot live. That's fine. But the streaming part, oh yeah, Kenny Omega, I saw him at the Sega TGS party. Yeah, it's a cool guy. Really awesome, talking about fighting games. And yeah, this is I believe it's one of these. Streaming it is actually gonna cost you money. It's the pay-per-view model. It's insane. What used to be free, I believe that there we go. Grand finals. You're gonna watch the grand finals for like 20 US or 30 US. Yeah. Day 2 grand final. Yeah, you're gonna okay. If it's 33,000, is 20 US. So if it's 4,000, probably 30 USD. 30 USD times 4.4 ish. 140 RM to watch the grand finals online, mind you, for Capcom Cup 12. That is insane. You know, people around the world are not gonna buy this. That's for sure. So well, it raises me. And then and also the crazy thing is you cannot restream it. You cannot broadcast it because it's a paid thing. If it's free, it's fine. So not all of us cannot do our clippings and whatnot of like the best events or whatnot on Capcom Cup unless you watch it on the official streams. And even that, if you want to repurpose that onto your stream or video or whatnot, that's going to be a very icky territory because Capcom can actually take that down because it's a paid thing on their side. So that's crazy stuff right there. So I don't know who's going to pay for this, man. It's going to be insane. People are already furious and complaining about it, and it's going to be insane how this is going to pan out. So will they change the model? We'll see how it goes. It's just people, I mean, Capcom who are in Japan, who are making the decision, are making it insularly in Japan, not thinking about the outside world and how they actually have done it throughout the ages. So it's gonna be crazy how this is gonna pan out. But in the meantime, 150 RM to watch a grand final is a huge ask for people who have been watching it for free for the past 5, 6, 7 years. So of Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 6 content. So that is it from my side for this show. As for everything that's gonna happen, we're gonna do a recap next week because I'm gonna I might be doing some level up stuff next week. So we'll see how that goes. I might actually talk more on our show next week when more news pops up from Thursday, Friday, Saturday onward, recapping stuff here and there. And that's all from my side. It's me, Mr. Toffee, signing out. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, do subscribe to our videos and all that. Hit the like, subscribe button. We post new content every week. And that's it from my side. Thank you very much. See you then. Bye-bye.